Well, I do. I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate the sentiment. But I am looking upwards. Of course, I have my eyes on the presidency. And a lot of people don't know this. The mainstream media is refusing to report on it, but I'll actually be in our nation's capital July
Oh,
3rd. This is not a joke. I am going to be at the Union Stage. I'm going to be bringing my Webby, and I've challenged Joe Biden to a debate. And I know he's right down the road, so and I know he'll be in town. And as it's written in the Constitution, if he does not come, I automatically become the president of the United States. If
now
okay,
everybody can see the Webby. This is
wonderful.
great. Um,
How are you,
yeah.
Mike? Thanks for having me.
well,
I'm not
I'm
interrupting anything important, am I?
no. Well, you know what? They just went on recess, so this is like perfect.
Oh, okay.
This is
Wonderful. Well,
perfect.
thank you
You
for
know?
having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have. So we have about 3,000 people here right now. So
Hi,
thanks
everyone.
for thanks for stopping by. Everybody on my stream knows who you are because we are gigantic fans of
Wow,
your
thank you.
content. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I watch every song that you put out. We watch them almost every day, honestly. I may be your biggest fan.
Wow. I wonder if they have Webbies for biggest fan.
That's right.
I'll reach out to the committee and see if we can getting you a statuette or something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd appreciate that. Now, if you don't know who Nick is, you must be brand new to the stream, but you are a songwriter, producer, performer. You're out of what, Chattanooga, Tennessee?
Correct.
And
Yeah, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Writer, director, star of Gremlins 3. I write songs. I make
oh,
videos. Yeah, that pretty much covers it.
yeah, and I think I was first introduced to your content by Victor Berger, who
Yes.
is a fellow Pennsylvanian. He's from my hometown,
Oh,
and
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, he's a great guy. And so I've
Love
been
Vic. I've
following.
I've said it before. I wouldn't have a career if it weren't for Vic. Vic was making videos for Pseudolux, and I was just a big fan. And
Mhm.
him and Tim Heider did an election special where they went to the RNC and the DNC in 2016. And I tweeted an unsolicited theme song at them, and they ended up using it. And that was kind of my intro into the Super Deluxe world, which got me into doing what I essentially have continued to do today. So I'm forever indebted to Victor Berger.
So Nick, I noticed that like you seem to handle being viral, like understanding virality and the social media at a much higher level than someone like me.
Mm.
And do you consider like, you're kind of like the new type of content creator in the sense that like obviously the Webby shows how you are both officially recognized and
Right.
just kind of like you have the acclaim of the crowd and you have the support of critics and the intelligentsia, so you've really squared that circle. What do you account for your success as a creator online? And yeah, what would you
It's a
say to
great
someone who
question.
is motivated who wants to get into this space?
You know, it's something that we talked about Vic, and I admired his work for years, and it was something as like I feel like I could do a version. Obviously, I could never do what he did, but I feel like I might have something humorous or something new to contribute. But like, it really feels like when you don't have a following or any sort of um, fan base or whatever, it's just like kind of screaming into the void. And I was
Hmm.
very lucky in that I was able to start doing work for Super Deluxe as an unknown, and my name wasn't really attributed to any of the work that I did there. But I was also very lucky that they shut down and deleted all of my work, so then I could upload it to my YouTube channel. So I kind of had a built-in jumping
Gotcha.
off point to where I could start creating things for people. And yeah, I truly don't know what I'm doing. I just continue to try throwing everything at the wall and see what sticks, and some of it does. I have a lot of I appreciate the kind words, but I have a lot of forces working against me. For example,
Hmm. I see
Joe
that.
Biden, he's trampled all over my constitutional rights to freedom of speech by not allowing me to perform at his inauguration. Steven Spielberg
True.
refused to put Gremlins 3, Dawn of Desmond in theaters, so I'm constantly being attacked by the political elite, the Hollywood elite, and it's a surprise to me that anyone out there is able to watch it all because of how much I've been stifled over the years.
Yeah, this is something that I see in common between you and Donald Trump Jr. is that your algorithm is constantly being crushed.
Right.
And
Yes. Yeah.
I make a point of seeking your content out and showing it to my audience whenever I can. But
Bless you.
if I just let it up to the algorithm, like I would never see your stuff. So clearly you have a huge cabal even of people behind you. One of the things I wanted to ask you as well is about your views on politics.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a lot of content where you're in support of Donald Trump. You're in support of kind of the forgotten man. The small business owner who owns an HVAC company. He has a boat. He's out there, disciplining his employees every day. Taking early weeks to go down to the shore, and you're finally given an opportunity for that guy to have a voice in politics. So how do you see your responsibility there?
How do I see my responsibility? I'm just it's a guttural thing. I just I get a feeling, and I need to express it as loudly as I possibly can. And obviously, I have a small studio here set up in this basement, and it is you're referencing I guess the average boat parader.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Obviously, that was a massive movement in 2020. Trump couldn't shut up about the boat parades, and I don't know. It's like, I look at this thing that it's like, it makes me feel a certain way that I can't quite put into words. And I was like, aha, I've cracked it. This is how I can write a song to comment on this particular moment in time. And I proceeded to just scream the word boat parade for about a minute straight, and with more and more forceful energy. And I think I got the point across as intended.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that it's all clicking into place finally. Thank you for explaining that to everybody. We're a little bit slow here. And one of the things that I really enjoy is, are you still in Grandma's basement? Are the men in the tunnels getting fed their meat? And how can we, protect ourselves from Joe Biden's attempts to take away our hamburgers, force gas prices as high as he can? What are you doing, personally to try to push back against that?
I am currently in Grandma's basement. It is. I made the video. Joe Biden wants to take your meat. I have lots of tips of hiding spaces where you can keep your meat.
13 months
I saw that. Yeah.
that has helped me
Yeah.
grow.
So that's
I'm actually
a
using that right now. I
Mike's
buried some meat in my
lovely
backyard. I plan on eating it soon.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't share any, precise location, because he could be watching. He could have people watching. He could be.
Good
could be on the
point.
way to take your meat right now.
Fuck.
But you ask what is the best way that people can protect themselves, and a lot of people don't know this. The mainstream media is refusing to report on it, but I'll actually be in our nation's capital July 3rd. This is not a joke. I am going to be at the Union Stage. I'm going to be bringing my Webby, and I've challenged Joe Biden to a debate. And I know he's right down the road, I know he'll be in town. And as it's written in the Constitution, if he does not come, I automatically become the president of the United States. If the president refuses a debate from a citizen, that citizen becomes automatically the president of the United States. So I'm sure he'll be there. So if I know your followers, your viewers, they're up on politics, they're into politics. They're not, if they're around the DC area, they're definitely going to want to come July 3rd, the eve of our nation's founding, and see me go toe to toe with President Joe Biden, because I'm going to be asking a lot of questions that everyone else is afraid to ask. Yeah. And it's going to be a historic night either way.
I understand that you're going to be rallying forces in other places in the country before you head to DC so that you have a large crowd. I think you're starting, you've already started in Chicago in April.
Chicago,
yeah, but now your next rally will be Saturday, June 25th in Nashville. Do you have where is that going to be located? And do people need like validation before they show up? Like where can they get that?
We're welcoming people from all walks of life to come. I've been treating this as a pilgrimage for fans of what I do. I've been calling it the Webby World Tour. I'm going to be taking this Webby all over the world, which includes Nashville, Tennessee, June 25th at the Exit Inn, New York City, June 29th at the Bowery Ballroom, and then of course building up to the crescendo of the great Joe Biden debate July 3rd at the Union Stage in our nation's capital on the eve of our nation's founding, July 3rd. And of course, there's tickets at nicklutsko.com if anyone out there is interested.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm glad to see that the mods are making sure everybody can get tickets to that. Well, I know that the Constitution says that we are a country that organizes itself around the marketplace of ideas, and the best debater becomes the president. That's just what the First Amendment says. So I'm glad to see that somebody who has a pulse on what's going on in the country, especially the needs of vote creators, is imminently going to become the president. Thank God.
I appreciate it, Mike, and I feel like it's going to go one of two ways. Either he doesn't come, which he will come. He won't have that egg on his face. So option one, which won't happen, he doesn't come.
So from what I understand, you're guaranteeing that President Joseph Robinette Biden will be there.
He'll be there, because if he's not there, that means I become the next president.
Gotcha.
Automatically. July 4th. And we'll have a new inauguration and everything. So he'll be there, or else that he won't get that egg on his face. But so I'm saying option two, which is what I'm almost certain will happen. He will show up, and I will wipe the floor with him with my questionings. I'll ask Grimble Street, Dawn of Desmond, #1 film, the first Grimmel's film in 31 years. Why hasn't this been permanently installed in all theaters all over America? That's question one, and I don't. That's
what I want to know.
He has an answer, and exactly. So I think after our debate, I think he might resign in shame, and then I might have an opportunity to run for president. And I'm not going to announce anything right now, but I think no matter how it goes, it's highly likely that I will be president of the United States.
Well, I mean, Webby, president. I mean, there's, that's what's a Grammy? You know what I mean? When you have a Webby and you're president, who gives a shit about those? You know, that's old. That's old stuff. You know. What is that, a record player? Like, who cares about that?
Yes, phonograph. Yeah, the Webby, the web has movies, music, porn. The internet it's so much bigger than just the small, the small window into movies and TV. Like the web hole is the umbrella. So really, the Webby is the ultimate. I can't think of a higher award than a Webby, because
I can't. I can't either. Right? No, I can't. Excuse me. Yeah. Of course not. And I'm glad that you're still carrying it, because everybody, who's clicks into the stream, they see, holy shit, I recognize that award as a Webby. Like, they see that and they can't help but go, wow, that's a Webby. Sometimes people see like golden statues of, and they're like, of guys, and they're like, what is that? What is that? I had to explain to my mom what an Oscar was. Yesterday. Yeah, so that's how those things are dying out. The next generation has no idea what that is. But when you have a Webby, I mean, how do you beat people off? Like, do you use the Webby? I mean, to beat them off, not beat them off. Oh, I'm sorry, Chad. That's not what I meant. Fight them off. Fight them off. Excuse me. Fight them off. It's a new development within the last week. I haven't really taken it into public, but I will be taking this on tour with me, and I will be allowing people. It'll be at the merch. I'm having it on stage with me. It's going to be under heavy security at all times. Okay, good. So no one get any ideas. I'm going to have it on stage. I'm going to give my acceptance speech each night, and then I'm going to take it with me to the merch booth. I'm going to allow people to come meet me, shake their hands, allow them to get their picture taken with Webby. And for $50, if you bring your own pair of gloves, I'll let you touch Webby as well. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, the one thing that I worry about for you, Nick, is you've reached like the peak of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have the self-actualization, you have the social recognition, you have the wealth, you have security. So where do you go from here? Are you paralyzed by ennui because you've just succeeded at everything a human being can possibly succeed at? There's really the best you could do is maintain. Is that something that frightens you? Well, I do. I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate the sentiment, but I am looking upwards. Of course, I have my eyes on the presidency. I have my eyes on box office domination. I'm trying to get one Gremlin film in the theaters in perpetuity, one new Gremlin film each year for the next 100 years. So that Marvel is my big universe goal. Too. We have the Gremlin universe. I know that I want to watch that. Like, who gives a shit about Iron Man? In the MCU. Yes, exactly. I do have a lot of goals. I'm a very ambitious person, and I appreciate I have achieved so much, but I'm just looking to continue to soar. Well, how about a preview of something you're working on in the future? What is your next? Do you have a something you're working on now that people should be looking out at? As far as another incredible ballad that we can listen to every single day?
I'll be honest with you, Mike. When I release music, it's usually, um, something in the news that day,
Hmm.
and I sit down and I write it, and I don't stop working on it until it's done, and then I immediately post it. So I never know what the next thing is. I'm hoping that there might be a little inkling of something interesting from these January 6th hearings today that might spark something. And maybe we'll have something within the next couple of days, but you never know when it comes. I know you've been following it very closely. Is there anything of note that you feel like I should be aware of that's come to light this morning?
I mean, the thing that's, in all seriousness, I think the main thing with January 6th is just how clearly everybody, or seems around Trump, was telling him, no, you lost.
Yeah,
And he didn't give a shit. He was just like, anybody who tells me I lost is fired, is basically what it comes down to. So only
Right.
the most, clownish motherfuckers like Giuliani, who are like disgustingly ambitious scumbag pieces of shit who are trying to kill us, would tell him what he wanted to hear. I mean,
Right.
in all seriousness, like, Jesus Christ, we are fucked.
Yeah. And it really feels like with these hearings, it seems like everything they're saying has been plain as day since day one. And anyone that wants to believe it already believes it. The people that we need to get through to have their head so deep in the sand. Like, it's like, what do we even do? That's kind of my takeaway. Do you feel more optimistic than I do about these hearings? Or?
Yeah, I mean, if you want my real takes, I would say that, like, we're beyond the point of, like, it's starting to feel like the rift is just too big and only a Webby can bridge it.
Right.
In the sense that, like, people don't care what the facts are. It's all about their identity and who they identify with. And so, like, if I go to a Trump supporter and bring evidence or rational argument, or they're just going to say that, where'd you get that? And if I say any kind of legitimate news, they're going to say fake news. And there is just no way of bridging that gap. It's an identity. It's sort of like a person going to a Baptist church during a sermon and saying, actually, I think that your theology is wrong.
Right.
They're just not going to be listening.
Yeah.
It's an article of faith. It's part of who they are. They were raised that way. Everybody who they trust is, saying what they're saying. And unless, Trump himself comes out there and says, no, actually, I lost the election, I don't see it happening.
But would even that, like, I don't know if that would do it, because he essentially did that with the vaccine, and that didn't seem to quell any of the vaccine nonsense whatsoever.
Well,
so it really almost feels like it's gotten bigger than him in some regards.
No. It's sort of like when you start a forest fire, right? Like, you may have struck the match, but at a certain point, it goes beyond your control, and you can come with the garden hose all you want, but what you did led to this cascade of events that you're right. He's is a little bit out of control. And what scares me the most is I think Trump knows that. I think he knows that he doesn't really have full control, and he's constantly looking back towards his people to see what he should be saying. The boat paraders, the people thinking our meat's going away. Like, those are who the president of the United States is listening to. And I've looked at and I've watched thousands of hours of right-wing content, and I don't have faith. I actually think our best bet is to harden our side, is to prepare for a struggle, to try to beat them, and reconciliation will come after we win. And that is one of those, like, really scary things to say. Like, if we're gonna save the Republican Party or whatever that Nancy Pelosi is constantly babbling about, we have to beat their asses so bad that they can't get power and that they decide they need to change. Like, if they just keep winning by playing, maximum hardball, I don't see how that changes. I mean, what is your perspective? I mean, I know you spend a lot of time looking at them as well. Do you feel like there is a reconciliation possible, or?
I don't know. I think you've hit the nail on the head in a lot of ways, and obviously you follow it much closer than I have. I feel like when I worked at Super Deluxe, my job was, I did that. That's the company I did, like, all the emo Trump videos and all the indie folk Alex Jones songs. So, like, I was constantly combing through
hilarious
hours. Oh, thank you. Hours and hours of Trump speeches and Alex Jones InfoWars episodes. And like because that was like how I was making my living, I was constantly waiting for the next song lyric, the next most absurd thing. So I was so like in tune and following it very closely. And I feel like now that that's not my job, I've not kept up with it nearly as much as I did. And I'm a father now. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I won't say I've checked out, but it's like it's very easily to become hopeless, and I'm kind of putting my attention, trying to put my attention where I find hope. And
Right.
but obviously things do consider to confound me, and that's where I kind of rise up and write these songs that I do whenever something just hits peak absurdity, and I feel like that I can only express how I feel about it through some ridiculous song.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Jones screamed about how he was going to literally consume leftists' flesh,
Yeah, right.
or
Eat their asses.
he's gonna eat leftist ass. Yeah, he's. I mean, this is the state of our political discourse, and as we face like greater and greater catastrophes, it's becoming more and more absurd. And so people like you, and the content that you make is like so important for us to, I think, actually remain sane, because so many of us who take this stuff more seriously in our day to day, like, what can you do? How can you respond
Yeah,
to the
right.
idea that millions of dead people are voting and Trump actually won? It's absurd.
Right.
And so we use you to, maintain our sanity, I guess.
Oh, well, thank
And
you.
this is why you have the Webby.
Yeah, yeah. It says on here something about advertising, media, PR, Old Spice, barbershop, sex, something or other. But
Mm-hmm.
I really believe it's the first place award for best Webby, and under that umbrella just falls, best entertainer, best songs, best film, including Grimmel's Free Dawn of Desmond, and it's the highest honor, and I just can't talk about how appreciative I am that I've been given this award.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is about the craft. I noticed that you have a certain glow about you. Is this like kind of your natural endowment, with the shine and the sheen, or is
Yeah,
that something that you augment, or
I don't know. I've seen people mention this, and I think it's maybe the lighting. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
trick of the light,
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe it's
Okay.
your computer screen. Maybe you have smut. Maybe you need to clean your screen or something. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. I understand. What else? Oh, okay. So we have ourselves. Is there anything else that you think that we should be paying attention to, or should be looking for? Maybe other creators or other people that you think are worth people's time.
Oh wow. People always ask me this question, and I always think, man, I wish I would have given a little more time thinking about this beforehand. But I've always only ever think about it the moment it comes up. And I've already mentioned, half a dozen
Vic.
times, but Vic, of course, does
Yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah.
But man, geez, um,
Well, I mean, I feel like when I look at the work that Vix does and the stuff that you've done in the past, it is actually incredibly valuable, in satirizing our time, because part of what makes your job so difficult is that their side is getting so ridiculous. How do you even do it? How
right,
do you
right, right.
satirize that? How do you satirize this movement? How do you create content that people don't think is legitimately straight ahead serious?
Yeah, right, for sure. I will say it's not so much in the political realm, but Brielle Garcia is someone that I've collaborated with, and she's at the top of my list. At Taco Lamp is her Twitter handle. She works in sort of like AR spaces, and like she helped. I don't know if you saw the third entry in the Spirit Halloween trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But she created the Spirit Halloween Planet world and like directed that video, and she does crazy stuff. Like she created like a Gremlin Man video game, and she does all the kind of CGI like Desmond stuff. It's my brain can't quite compute how she does what she does, but she's always posting craziness that she's able to do from her home. And if you're into tech, that's definitely a follow worth checking out.
All right, well, Nick, let me see one more time. You are going to be in, let's see, Nashville. You're going to be on June 25th at Exit In.
Exactly, yes. Saturday night.
Saturday night on June 25th. June 29th, you'll be at the Bowery Ballroom in New York City. And Sunday, July 3rd, the debate with Joe Biden in Union Stage in Washington, D.C.
Exactly, yeah. And if you're in, even if you don't live in DC, say you're on the West Coast, I think this would be a groundbreaking, historic night, and you're going to want to see history unfold in the nation's capital. So you can get tickets at nicklutsko.com, and I'll have my Webby, and you can get picture taken with Webby after the show. So
Nick, just and I really appreciate you coming on. Do you have any comment on the men on the tunnels? This is the other thing that I'm seeing in the chat. People want to know more about the men on the tunnels and the expanded universe of your grandma. Is that going to be a continued theme going forward?
So I mentioned the spirit, the third entry in the spirit. The men in the tunnels actually left Grandma's basement. And they've actually, this is a really deep topic to end on, but they've infiltrated all business, all government. They have their own web shows. They have their own, you wouldn't believe how many people, some of the biggest names in media used to live in the tunnels under Grandma's house. For example, Jeff Bezos, Joe Rogan, Dan Bongino. The list goes on, and it's not their reach is getting wider, and I am doing all that I can to fight this virus.
Now that you say that, like, there is a kind of phenotypic commonality between Joe Rogan and Dan Bongino that really does and Alex Jones. Yeah, they really do look like they were literally from the tunnels in Grandma's basement. So I think you're onto something.
They're when I think of the trifecta of Bezos, Rogan, and Bongino, I think, okay, we have three bald men, and it wasn't until recently, years after writing "I Want to Be at the RNC" that I looked at a photo of Dan Bongino. I think it was while I was working on my most recent song, and I realized he's not even bald. He just has such a massive forehead that it appears that there's a subconscious feeling that this is a bald man. But no, there is hair at the top, but it's just so much you see it's all that flesh, and your brain just computes bald. And that was a recent discovery I had.
I mean, I feel like I have to fact check you because this is so shocking. I always thought he was bald. Like, you're saying that he has like hair on the top of his head? Really?
It might be a Mandela effect. I'm not, because as I said, I was certain he was a bald man, and then recently I was like, no, there's hair up there, but I don't know. It's like, I heard C-3PO's leg has been red all along. Something. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I don't quite believe you.
But I don't think that's true. No, well, I believe it. That's all that you said it. So like that makes it true.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, Nick, thanks so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure. I appreciate the invite. It's nice chatting with you.
If there's if you want to come on again, if you have another big tour in the future, please do come back on. And do you have anything else you want to plug or send people to?
We got these shows. Oh, I do want to say I'm on Discord. Halloween Planet. I don't know if anyone that is
Discord
active in the Discord there can share the link in your chat, but I'm there, and I'm on patreon.com/NickLutsko, where we do Zoom parties and private performances and have stems to all my songs and behind the scenes kind of stuff that's fun. And obviously I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that at Nick Lutsko. So I really appreciate you having me. Is really great chatting.
All right. Well, congratulations on the Webby. And we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bud.
God bless you, Mike.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, chat. That was Nick. Let's go. An incredible content creator, oh fuck. Is Nick here? Where the fuck's Nick? Oh, Nick's here. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Nick.
What's happening?
All right, 1 second. Let me just get everything all set up.
Can you see my Webby?
If you could just give me 1 second, I can almost see the Webby. We can see the Webby. Okay, we're just slightly adjusting the camera here.
Let me know if I need to get it closer.
I'm gonna crop your camera just a little bit, Nick. So if you can move it to center it up. There you go. Perfect.
Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap